It's time for the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle. Stay tuned as we discuss what's happening in the world of local and national sports in Southeast Missouri and beyond. And welcome to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle. I'm Mike Bueller.
I'm Mark Sanders.
And we are joined today by a special guest, Tony Webb. And Tony, you are putting on something very special Friday night. Tell us about the Last Dance All-Star Game.
Well, first and foremost, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys bringing me in. And, this is the 6th annual Last Dance All-Star Game. It's where the best area seniors, boys and girls all across the area, come into one gym and play one last time in front of their family and fans. Yep.
And where's this going to be at?
This is going to be at the old Dexter High School. It's still on the same land as the BCT, but this is going to be at the old Dexter High School. And of course, we like the event center, but it's something about that old high school feel that it just gives that good energy and good ambiance and just a good atmosphere for basketball.
There's been some memorable basketball played in that gym. I remember being a rookie sports writer covering the Dexter Bearcats when they had like Brett Hale and Paul Hale was still coaching them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's been some memorable people playing that gym, so that's a good place to have it. And we are also joined by Kyle Roberts. Kyle, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, good morning, Tony. Long time no talk, brother. How you doing?
Hey, Kyle, how you doing, man? It's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, one Mark Twain Panther to another.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Just chiming in. It's just great linking up. You know, our families, we grew up together, and Tony, I just want to say real quick, man, real proud of everything that you've done, not just in your life, but also with the community, man. You represent Papa Bluff so well. I just want to say that, brother. Real proud of you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
This is 6 year you've been doing the Last Dance. Tell me how it got started.
Well, years ago when I was a senior, of course, I think it was put on by BA Sports, and they did a good one at the Coliseum years ago, and then I think Three Rivers picked it up for a few years, if I'm not mistaken. And then I just kind of seen an opportunity. I think when it was open, no one was doing it. I just jumped in there, man, and being an AAU basketball coach and coaching kids from around the area for so long, I already knew who all the best players was because a lot of them played for the program. So the first year that we did it in Campbell, it was quite easy to get the kids because I knew them all, and they were all one phone call away. We packed that Campbell gym. I think that's the year when they won state championship with Blake Fowler and company. And, man, from there it just grew. 3 years in, I partnered with Roy Booker out of Cape Girardeau with SEMO Prep. And he's been doing a great job, a great work up that way with post-grad students and getting them into college and getting them scholarships. And, again, man, iron sharpens iron. And he's done a lot in the game of basketball, playing overseas for 13 years and coming back and helping give back to kids. So we just kind of brought it all together. And here we are 6 years later, and it gets bigger and bigger every year.
Cool deal. A little bit of an aside on SEMO Prep. SEMO Prep gave Three Rivers, Matt Hampton, and Johan Pouch, two guys that were big parts of the Raiders, back-to-back 21 seasons and going to Hutch last year. Yes. So that's a really nice contribution.
Oh, yeah, and shout-outs to, I call them Big Germany, you know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to meet his parents, too, when they came down. Great people, great kid. And even Matt is a great kid, and I think it's a lot of Division I's that's really reaching out to him right now.
There are.
But, again, that's a testament to Roy putting the work in with those guys for that one good year. And then, of course, a testament to Coach Best and then Coach Kirby, being with his long sheet of just 33 years on the Division I level. That Coach Kirby, man, he is a whiz. He's a person that I talk to almost every other day, every week, and it's just really just to talk is to get the wisdom, because he's very, very witty, very smart, and he's been around the game of basketball for a long time. So Three Rivers is in good hands.
Good deal. Glad to hear that. Here's some of the people that are going to be playing in the game Friday night. Yep. Tony's pulling up his roster right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can go ahead and shoot, brother.
I know one name that really popped out. Is you got somebody coming from Lake Hamilton, Arkansas in the girls' game, Dissia Kristen.
Yeah.
And Dissia stands out because her brother and her dad both played for Three Rivers, and her aunt played in the WNBA.
Yes,
and tell me about them.
So, and if you've been keeping up with the All-Star game the past few years, we always do like a little bonus player, and we just kind of insert like a Arkansas or maybe a Southern Illinois kid in, just kind of to just to keep it nice and going. And I of course this is gonna this is for the kids around the area. But it's always good to just kind of slide in a little Arkansas here and one there. But LaJuan Christian, that's his daughter.
Yep.
I met them. Of course, I know LaJuan for years, but I met his daughter 2 years ago on the AAU scene. I was coaching against his sister, which is the one that played in played in the WNBA, and didn't even, unbeknownst to even know who she was. And all I said after they beat us that game, it was a really good game, close game. And after the game, we went to shake hands. And I said, man, that was a good game. And that girl right there, that lefty, she can play. She said, yeah, she takes after her dad. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm Tony Webb. What's your name? She said her name. I said, Christian. I said, huh. I said, do you know LaJuan? She said, that's my brother.
Nice.
And I said, I'm from Poplar Bluff. And before you knew it, she called him on the phone. We took a picture, sent it to him. And by the end of the tournament, man, I hadn't seen LaJuan in probably 25 years since I was a kid. And he still looks the same.
Cool.
And but, man, we ended up getting in touch. And I said, man, bring your daughter down here. She's signed to go to college down there in Arkansas. And, I mean, just a phenomenal player. Another one that we have is from Greene County Tech.
Yep.
Johnson, which was one that was at Kennett. And, boy, I tell you, had she stayed, boy, that Kennett team could have been something, which they were a good team this year.
They were good. I mean, they just ran into Donovan.
They ran, and again, you know what I'm saying, we got one from Donovan as well, Tara Davis.
Yep.
But Johnson, man, she's a player. I think she's going Division I this year.
Nice.
And so, I mean, it just gives excitement knowing that there's going to be some talent on the floor.
Good deal. I'm going to read off some of the names in the girls' game besides the ones we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I see Grace Ansell from Delta, Lily Boitnott from Delta, Ava Gurley from Holcomb, Jordan Maltbia from New Matter County Central, Eddie Ordway and Jaden Brandon from Poplar Bluff, Parker Ernst from Neelyville, Kinsey Barton from Bunker, Glow Farmer from Portageville, Taryn Irby from Portageville, Hallie Jamerson from Zenith, Caden Hillis from Thayer, Lily Watkins from Jackson, and Rena Miller from South Iron on the boys' side. Markwell Murray and Kobe Thomas from Sykeston, Robert Farmer from South Penn, Javante Payne from Hayti, Quan McVeigh from Caruthersville, Jamarius White from Zenith, C.J. Walls from Delta C7. You know, guy put up some really nice numbers this year.
Yeah, he did.
Diantez Dobbins from Malden, Drew Fowler from Malden, Owen Fortner from Risco, Sammy Bryant from Caruthersville, who just signed to play football at Lincoln. Sammy's going to be on our show in a little bit, by the way, guys.
Really nice.
And also on the list, we have Landon Burchard and Jed Hancock from Puxico, John Sepulvedo from Dexter, Eli Rogers from Risco, Corbin Kinder from Woodland. Corbin just committed to play at Southwestern Illinois. Yep. Noah Simpson from Eagle Ridge, Dallas Williams from here in Poplar Bluff, Calvin Layton, another name from Woodland, and Caden Keith from Arcadia Valley. Tony, it's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
Yep. Again, this is something that we love to do. It's great for the kids. I remember being a senior and getting a chance to play again and play against some of the best talent across the area when I came through. So I remember the feeling, so I know that those kids are going to be pumped to just get on the floor and compete. And I tell people all the time, yes, this is an all-star game, and we tell the kids before the game, but some of you guys probably are not signed to a college yet. It's going to be college coaches in those things.
Yep.
And this is one more time. If they were thinking about you or maybe wondering, this is one more chance to just win them over. And so, yes, have fun. Yes, play the game, but compete. Yep. And last year, man, we had 2 really good games. I think the girls' game was like a 3 or 4 point win, and the boys' game, both games I think was less than 5 points. So they both went down to the wire. And of course, it starts out a little play, but the competitive side in each kid, I think it kind of rises up and say, hey, I don't want to lose this game. Let's get to playing some basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Good deal, and sounds great. And that is Tony Webb, and you are listening to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.
This is Three Rivers men's basketball coach Robert Kirby, and you are listening to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.
And welcome back to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle. And we are going to dive into some high school basketball, which wrapped up this past weekend. Wrapped up with 3 Southeast Missouri teams getting to state, but not winning state titles. The Sykeston Bulldogs and the Donovan Donettes both took second, while the Jackson Lady Indians took fourth. But, great seasons for all 3 teams, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Aldwin Seabury Jr. from the DAR texted me after the Donettes lost, and they said that I can't ever remember if it's Stafford or Strafford.
I think it's Strafford.
Said just Strafford was just better this year. And when you look at their history, they've stacked up, I think, prior to this year, 5 consecutive state championships. So, they are a powerhouse. I looked on the map, and they're over in the southwestern part of the state, just northeast of Springfield. So, the good news for the Donettes is that the core of their team is going to be coming back for their senior year with Carson Haygood and Ellie White and Kenna Kirby. They're all going to be back as seniors. Bella Monahan will be a sophomore with another year of experience, and I'm sure that Adam has some other up-and-coming players. So, just look for the Donettes to be right back in the mix, playing for another state championship, and a championship one year and then runner-up the second year. That's a legendary team, So all credit to them, and it is disappointing that some of our other big teams just fell short in the finals, but that is the nature of sports. It's like you only get one winner at the end of the season, and everyone else is somewhat disappointed. It's just the way it goes.
And hats off to our area teams, like I said earlier. Sykeston Bulldogs took second to a really tough MICDS team, and I'm going to show my old schoolness. I still think of MICDS as just Country Day, which for many years it was until it merged with, I believe, the Mary Institute, and now it's Mary Institute Country Day School, or MICDS. To me, it's still just Country Day, but either way, they are the Class 5 state champions. And Sykeston had a heck of a run this year, and I think, they're graduating some people, but they are going to have some pieces back next year as well. And it's Sykeston, Coach Greg Hollifield always finds a way to win. As for the Jackson Lady Indians, that team, their best players are underclassmen that are going to be back, I think, next year and even beyond. So the best may be yet to come for the Jackson Lady Indians.
Yeah, I think it's another instance of a school that's going to be back in the mix again next season for sure.
Indeed, and we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit of junior college basketball. I want to talk real quick about Three Rivers Lady Raiders. They are kicking off the national tournament this afternoon down in Lake Charles, Louisiana. They are taking on the Monroe University Mustangs out of New York. I want to say maybe out of it's New Rochelle, New York, which is like Westchester County. But they are playing at 2:30. Three Rivers is the 12 seed. Monroe is the 21 seed. The winner of that game plays Clarendon, Texas, the number 5 seed, at 2:30 on Friday. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a testament to the program that Alex Wiggs has built, the 6 consecutive years going to the national tournament. And I don't think, certainly from a national level, we probably don't have any real expectations about what the Lady Raiders are going to do in this tournament. A 12 going up against a 21 seed. I think that you could look at that and say that they would probably be favored to win that game, but then facing the 5 seed over Clarendon, and you just know this every time. If they beat Clarendon, you know who they have to play in the next bracket. It's Northwest Florida State.
Northwest Florida State, or as I like to sometimes call them, the Bizarro Raiders, because they are also Raiders. But so that they're not our Raiders, they are the other Raiders. Therefore, they are the Bizarro Raiders.
Yeah, and Northwest Florida has knocked the Lady Raiders out the past 2 seasons, maybe even before that, I know. But we have yet to get past that team. And, should we win today and again on Friday, then that match looms large coming up this weekend. So, but, when you come in as a 12th seed, when you maybe weren't supposed to be there in the first place. I mean, they went in an upset State Fair, who's playing as a 9 seed.
They played
Wednesday morning
against Central Georgia Tech, and the winner of that game gets Walter State on Friday morning. That's going to be interesting. Switching gears a bit, if y'all been following us on Facebook, you've probably been noticing that I've been talking a lot recently about the Sports Desk Substack. That's something that I've been doing a lot of writing for, and I have been remotely covering the men's National Junior College Tournament out in Hutchinson, Kansas. That's been really fun. Lane Ballou, who's been on our podcast before and is an Advanced native, a friend of the podcast. Lane's Gulf Coast State Commodores are in that. They are playing in the quarterfinals tonight against the Bizarro Raiders, who is their big conference rival. The Big Blue Wrecking Crew, as I call them, made it to the quarterfinals by pulling off a nice little upset on Monday night. They beat 3rd-seeded Indian Hills. That was a really cool matchup because you had 2 former Raiders going up against each other. Lane Ballou, the head coach of Gulf Coast State, and for Indian Hills, their assistant coach is Trey Rakes. Trey Rakes used to be an assistant coach here, and he is also the grandson-in-law of legendary Three Rivers head coach Gene Best. So that was a really fun matchup if you're a Raiders fan. And there's a lot of good matchups going on out in Hutchinson, Kansas. That's a nice arena. I've been there a few times. Doesn't hurt that I used to live the next county south of there for about a year. So that's an area I'm familiar with, and that's been a good tournament. And the Raiders, the men's and women's national tournaments are being streamed on ESPN Plus. If you have that, you can watch all the games up until the championship games. Those will be on ESPNU. But it's really been a fun week of junior college basketball, and that's not even counting the NCAA tournament, which we're not even going to be able to get into much on this show. But wow, what a week of sports, Mark.
Oh yeah, and since you mentioned March Madness, I think one of the greatest days in American sports is the Thursday and Friday when we get the first round games. And the one I really want to highlight is High Point University upsetting Wisconsin. That is one of the most...
What a run they had.
I'll tell you what, that is one of the... And they... I can't remember who they lost to in the second round. It was one of the big boys, but they gave
Arkansas.
Gave Arkansas everything they could handle out there. So congrats to High Point. But boy, that win over Wisconsin was just so thrilling to watch. And it's those, it's the only area in American sports where you still have a David versus Goliath story. You almost don't even see that in high school sports anymore, because so often it is the big schools with a lot of resources that seem to come out on top again and again. But you do get those small schools rising up and making noise in the first and second rounds of the tournament. It's all chalk now, though. I was looking at the bracket just the other day, and it is as chalky as it ever went. The top 3 seeds advanced in all 4 of the regionals. So it's going to be the big boys playing for the big title.
But there
you say that by name, by seed, but not by name, because there's one program that sure doesn't, by historical precedent, does not fit in the Sweet 16, and that would be Nebraska.
Well, hey, Husker power, y'all.
True.
Not really. You know how I feel about that, but I will concede I've never disliked them in basketball, and a major congratulations to the Huskers.
There was no reason to dislike them in basketball. They had a terrible basketball team. So it looks like our only low seed is Texas, and they were probably underseeded at 11, but they're definitely making noise. But I think everyone in the universe outside of Carolina is going to be pulling for St. John's to knock out the Duke Blue Devils.
Legendary matchup because 34 years after Christian Laettner hit the shot, you have Rick Pitino taking on Duke in the NCAA tournament again.
Yeah. You got Michigan State and UConn playing in the bottom side of that bracket. Arizona and Arkansas. We were absolutely right in saying that Arkansas was going to advance deep into this tournament. And then Texas and Purdue. Of course, in the other side of the bracket down south, we've got Iowa, Nebraska.
Oh, that's going to be a good rivalry matchup.
Yeah.
Take it from somebody who used to live in Nebraska. That's going to be a good one.
Illinois against the grandchildren of Phi Slamma Jamma.
Dang right.
University of Houston. Michigan and Alabama, and then Tennessee and Iowa State. So, it's a great Sweet 16 matchup. I think all of these games are going to be quality games to watch this weekend.
Indeed, it's going to be some fun matchups, and we are going to take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Caruthersville football player Sammy Bryant and Caruthersville football coach Dominic Guglielmo here on the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle. But stay tuned after that. We're going to be looking at the Major League Baseball season, y'all. It is going to be a fun one.
This is Three Rivers College women's basketball coach Alex Wiggs, and you are listening to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.
Football player Sammy Bryant and Caruthersville head football coach Dominic, and I want to make sure I pronounce your name right. Is it Guglielmo?
Yep, that's right.
Good deal. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Sammy, first of all, congratulations on going to Lincoln University. What led you to Lincoln? Tell me about that.
I just think it's a good fit for me. And I can play a lot as a freshman if I go there and work hard and hit the weights very hard.
Good deal. Who are some other schools that were looking at you?
William Woods, Clover Stockton, UT Martin, SEMO, and that's it.
Those are some good schools. Coach, I'm going to switch to you. Sammy has meant so much to this program over the years, and we've talked about that. And tell me, and tell me again, what has Sammy meant to the Caruthersville football these last few years?
I mean, when I got this job, Sammy was a second semester 8th grader. So every day I've coached at Caruthersville, Sammy Bryant's been here. His freshman year, we had a senior running back, and he ended up taking over the spot about midseason and rushed for 1,200 yards and a bunch of touchdowns. And
wow!
And then he kind of stole the show. I think he finished his career with over 6,500 yards and 130 touchdowns, something like that. And when I got here, we rebuilt this joker. It had all the pieces in place, but he was pivotal in that. I mean, when you think of Caruthersville football the last couple of years, we've been a run-first team. You don't become a run-first team without a special running back, and he's been that guy for us. So, I mean, he's been the face of Caruthersville football for about 4 years now.
Indeed. Sammy, switching back to you, when you look back on your high school career, what has stood out the most?
My coach, who always pushed me and yelled at me if I did something wrong.
Good deal. What are some moments that have stood out to you during your career? Are there some games that really stand out to you more than others?
Syston, Haytie, Haytie 4 years in a row, and St. Genevieve my junior year.
Good deal. That Hayti game this year really stood out because, you beat a Final Four team. What was it like doing that?
It was very fun, and it's a rivalry game, so it just made it even better.
Good deal. And, you also mentioned Sykeston. You guys had a memorable game against Sykeston this year. I believe you scored 70 points as a team. You had a big night. Tell me about that game.
We went there and played Tigers football, but we went into halftime down a touchdown, and Coach G told us, "Don't hang our heads. We're gonna win this game." And we came back. We came out the second half and we won the game.
There you go. Coach, I'm going to switch back to you. What are some games you remember from Sammy's career? Tell me some ones that have stood out to you.
Oh shoot. Sykeston, so we played them. We finally figured out how to get the defensive look we wanted, and Sammy was unstoppable that game. We ended up pulling him out at the end, and he was all mad at me. But Kelly, his sophomore year, Jermonte Alexander got hurt, and everybody was starting to hang their heads, and Sammy ripped off like 6 touchdowns and almost 400 yards. You look at Hayti this year, our game plan was very simple. We just ran dive. We knew that we were better up front than they were, and they would have a tough time tackling Sammy. So Sam was a workhorse. I think he carried the ball 45 times that game. We just ran dive. And Sam was getting beat up in the middle there, and he had a phenomenal night. And those were kind of the things that was nice about having Sammy, and he was a workhorse. He'd get beat up a little bit. We get back to the sideline. I tell him it wasn't really that bad and put him back in. And having Sammy a part of the program has just been, watching him sign today was one of the best days I've had as a football coach. He's from a great family, and they've all been involved in the program. But he's definitely earned it. Definitely earned it.
And how do you think he's going to do at Lincoln?
Sammy's special. There's one coach, I'm not going to say his name, but we're sitting at the All-State meeting, and he goes, "I have a highlight film of how not to tackle Sammy Bryant."
Oh, wow.
He was tough to bring down, center of gravity, all that, and that stuff translates right to the college game.
Wow.
And I think that if he really, like he said, if he sticks to the weight room, and goes in there and really dedicates himself to the process, because college football is very process driven. I don't see why he can't help them get over the hump and hang a banner themselves.
There you go. Guys, anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of, we haven't always gotten along some days. One time I had to kick him out of practice because we wore flip-flops. But I've had nothing. He's a steal for Lincoln. I think he would have been a steal for a lot of teams, and we couldn't be more proud of him and how he represented our program, fought adversity, and ended up being one of the most, at a school with 5 car trophies, one of the most prolific running backs ever to come through Caruthersville.
There you go, Sam. Go ahead.
Sam, you have anything?
I'm just ready to get back on the field and play football. That's all.
There you go. Guys, and that is Sammy Bryant and Dominic Guglielmo here on the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.
This is Tony Webb, and you're listening to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.
And welcome back to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle. And before we dive into Major League Baseball, we've got some breaking news out of the NBA. Kyle, tell us what you just found out.
I've been over here legitimately trying not to tear up because this means something to me. And if you're a hoop head and fans of the show, I hope you absolutely love this as much as I do. Breaking news from NBA senior insider Shams Charania. The NBA's Board of Governors has approved a vote for the league to explore bids and applicants for expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle, sources tell ESPN. A bidding process is expected to generate offers in the $7 to $10 billion range for each team.
Wow.
Supersonics.
Sonics are back, y'all. Exciting.
This means something to me.
Oh yeah, I mean the Sonics the Sonics are part of the NBA landscape, and certainly were from the years where we grew up in the 80s and 90s. You know, they were they had some great teams out there, and you know, great to see them coming back. You know, it's like I'm almost as happy to hear that as I would be about St. Louis getting an expansion NFL team. Something else that is highly unlikely, but still something that deserves to happen.
Yes, it does.
The world is starting to heal. All I need is Major League Baseball to announce the return of the Montreal Expos.
Oh, that's the other one. Absolutely.
You never know what might happen. Speaking of baseball, Major League Baseball season kicks off today, and Cardinals baseball kicks off tomorrow. We're going to talk extensively about the Cardinals. And this is something, and keep in mind, I'm sitting here in studio wearing my St. Louis Cardinals jersey, but I'm getting ready to annoy Mark and Kyle because I am going to say, I think, even though I think this program is headed in the right direction, I think this is going to be a rebuilding year. The worst St. Louis Cardinals team in the last 100 years finished 69-93 in 1978. I think this year's team actually may be worse than that. I would not be surprised if this team loses 100 games. Mark and Kyle, I know you very strongly disagree with those sentiments, so I'm going to let you go from there.
I don't know. I mean, other than just completely ignoring everything that they've done in the offseason, other than completely ignoring everything that this team has done during spring training, ignoring everything that they've done to build a young staff of starting pitching, to bring up youngsters. I mean, sure, you can say this if you're not paying any attention to the Cardinals, which I would expect from someone on a national level, but I mean, just to think that the Cardinals are going to finish lower than Pittsburgh, that they're going to finish lower than Cincinnati, that they're going to be of the same caliber as Colorado or the Chicago White Sox, I just think it's absurd. I think it's a ridiculous take that's not grounded in reality. I mean, this is a team that now are they gonna compete for a wild card? I think that's wildly overestimating what this young team can do. But I mean, to think that they're going to lose 100 games, I mean, I see this team finishing at or above 500, not dramatically, but I just don't see any evidence that they lack the talent to at least win 80 games this season.
I don't think it's a lack of talent. I think it may be more a lack of experience. I mean, and Kyle, I know you got some things you're going to say on this too, but let me say this real quick. You know, here's the thing. If you do a rebuild right, you start out bad, but you end up being great. In 2012, the Chicago Cubs lost 101 games. 4 years later, they did something that none of us thought was even remotely possible and won a championship. The Houston Astros lost 100 games in 2012 and 2013 both. 4 years later in 2017, they were hosting the Commissioner's Trophy. I think that this could bode well for the Cardinals, who have a chance, I think, to rebuild this team, which they have been needing to do for a long time. I think we've got the right person in place to do that with Chaim Bloom. I think we've got some good talent. The talent's there. It's just right now, I don't think the experience is. If we have a bad year this year, if we do lose 94 or more games and have the worst record in the last 100 years, I don't think it's going to stay this bad. I think we are on our way up. We may not get there this year, though.
Well, what you're ignoring is this is not what you talked about with the Cubs. That was year one of the rebuild. I mean, it's like they had nothing. They had no talent on the big league roster. They had no talent in the farm roster. This is Bloom's second year. Now, it is his first year as president of baseball operations. It is his second year in rebuilding the farm system. And depending on what service you look at, the Cardinals have already reassembled their farm system to be ranked as one of the top 3 farm systems in Major League Baseball. He did this in a year. They were way down last year, and he has rebuilt the farm system in a year to whereas the consensus view it is I forget which service ranked at number 1, but they're ranked either first, second, or third in terms of the quality of prospects that they have coming up. Last year was the rebuilding season. Last year was the teardown season. This is the next step in the process. Kyle, take over for me here.
Gladly. No, Mike. Now chill. I'm not going to go all 1985 Ric Flair on you. I'm tired. I ain't got a Nate's promo in me. But we rank as, according to MLB.com, we have the number 4 ranked farm system in all of baseball. We jumped from 12 to 4, and in terms of prospect rankings. And right now, as I count, because obviously the crown jewel of our prospect pool is J.J. Weather, who will be our everyday second baseman,
and that's very encouraging.
That kid is an absolute stud.
Yep.
Take a look at Liam Doyle, who does the one thing Cardinals pitchers are incapable of doing. He strikes people out. The Cardinals were dead last in the majors in strikeouts forced by pitchers last year. We did not have anybody who could force outs on the mound, and he throws. He has the patience of Al Roboski. Mm-hmm. For our older listeners and viewers of the show. Also, Reniel Rodriguez, number 37 prospect in all of baseball. Joshua Baez, who had a monstrous spring. He's a big one to look out for. He pushed for Jordan Walker's spot in right field. Walker did make the opening day roster. He's ranked at number 87. And here's a guy, Mark, I told you about him, and God bless him, I cannot pronounce his name because I'm country like that. But Shijinte, Urangelo Shijinte,
yes,
he is the switch pitcher that we acquired in the Brendan Donovan trade with Seattle, who on an aside is my World Series pick. Number 91 prospect, but he pitches. He has a full pitcher's arsenal as a lefty and a righty. Mm-hmm. What on earth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know, it is a truism. You can't put too much stock into the spring training schedule.
True.
except the last couple of weeks of spring training you're playing your starting roster, and the Cardinals won their last 5 games to close out spring training with wins over Houston, Washington, the Mets, Miami, and then Houston again. And in fact, if you go back to March 12th, they have one loss, a 1-0 loss to the Nationals, and then an 8th inning tie with Miami. So they went 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. They went 8-1-1 in their last 10 games of spring training. This is a team that is learning how to win baseball games. Now, we all know the regular season is going to be different from that.
Yes, this is just spring training, guys.
Right, but again, spring training is not like preseason football where you have third stringers and practice team playing a whole half of football. Look at the starters that went and won for the Cardinals. Swanson, Liberatore, McGreevy. By the way, Liberatore's 1-0. McGreevy went 4-0 this spring, and he is, looking on the depth chart, McGreevy is our number 2 starter after
As
Liberatore.
he should be.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a second half.
Yeah. I like this team. I don't care how many games they win. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I think they're going to be out there playing hard. And when you play hard, you win. You make your own luck, you make your own breaks, and just, look, they've moved Alec Burleson to first base. He's a much better fit at first than he is in the outfield. Weatherholt at second, Nolan Gorman over at third, taking over the third base spot. Mason Wynn at shortstop. I think Wynn's going to be an all-star this year. Jordan Walker crushing out in right field. If we can get Victor Scott's bat going in center field, Lars Nootbaar's out with injury right now, but he's eventually going to come back healthy. We've got Ivan Herrera crushing from the designated hitter position. And then look at the depth at catcher. We've got Pedro Pajes, the aforementioned Herrera, and then Yohel Pozo. And Pozo is a terrific pinch hitter.
Until he got injured last year.
True. But I think he's okay this year. The more I look at the depth on this roster, the more I think about the young players, the more confident I am in saying that the Cardinals are going to finish above 500. I mean, and I don't think that they're going to finish any worse than third in the National League Central. It's likely that they're going to finish behind the Cubs and the Brewers, but Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are not going to have better seasons than the Cardinals. I'm willing to bet on that.
I don't gamble, but I will.
I don't disagree. I got us at our ceiling. I would say is about 84 wins this year, truly, because even if it's not down the stretch, we're going to be one of those teams that you don't want to see if you are fighting for a wild card berth or if you're battling for a division title and you're in a tight race. We're not going to be a fun team for anybody to play, like in Atlanta or the Mets or any team like that.
Right, because once we get to the end of the season, if we're out of the playoff race, here's the reality: we're going to have all of these kids who've been tearing it up all season in AAA who are ready to come up and play. That has been the goal of the Cardinals organization. That was the entire purpose, rebuilding the farm club so that we could get back to where we're bringing up our own prospects, developing tomorrow's stars today, and just starting that parade from Springfield to Memphis to St. Louis. And that starts this year.
It's going to be interesting, guys. And guys, that's our show for this week. We've got some fun stuff planned for next week. Hopefully we will have our recording studio equipment working. There's been some glitches beyond our control, so we had to go to our backup recording plan this week. But, we still managed to get some good things on, guys. Excited about that. Hope you enjoyed the show. And I'm Mike Bueller.
I'm Mark Sanders.
And this is Kyle Roberts.
And you have been listening to the Sports Desk with Mike, Mark, and Kyle.